The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed the due date for taxes in the United States back all the way to May 17th. In case you were waiting for your favorite anime chess waifu or husbando to become real and give you tax advice, and who wasn't, I've prepared a numbered list of who I think are the top 10 Fire Emblem characters who could do your taxes. In the number 10 spot, I've taken a cop-out answer of every landholding lord. These are the kind of guys who have the authority to write their own tax code, and while it may not be so commonplace anymore, the easiest way to pay your taxes is to have a tax collector come right to your door and rough you up. Next on our list is everyone's favorite thousand-year-old dragon child, Tiki from the Arcania games. She's appeared in 5 mainline games, and by the time of Fire Emblem Awakening is over 3,000 years old. With such a wealth of knowledge that could be accumulated over something like 50 lifetimes, if she isn't able to do her own taxes, and yours by this point, she's just beyond salvation. This is the face of a man you can trust. I will not be elaborating further. And now with our first serious answer of the video, Hubert von Vestra from Three Houses. He's the kind of person who embodies bureaucracy. He's the Fire Emblem equivalent of an IRS agent, a ruthless calculating machine that will come at you with lethal force if you withhold Edelgard/Uncle Sam's precious tax revenues. Having him as an ally in the tax game would save you a headache, and possibly an opponent. Coming in at number 6 is Anna, the unofficial mascot of Fire Emblem herself. There's no denying that Anna has a serious knack for the financial side of life. This shrewd merchant has amassed a massive fortune through the mercantile game. But is her fortune perhaps too massive to believe? Whether it's selling vulneraries under the table or laundering money in offshore Magvellian banks, there is no doubt that Anna hides a large portion of her income from the IRS. Taking her advice may be a lot more trouble than it's worth. We won't deny that she's good at what she does, but we can't in good conscience recommend her as a tax preparer. If Anna is the risky but potentially rewarding choice for doing your taxes, then Frederick of Fire Emblem Awakening fame is old reliable. In his supports with the rest of the cast, but especially with Chrom, we see that Frederick has an astounding work ethic. This is a man who will sweat the details, and will dig through your boxes of receipts all night, only for you to take the standard deduction anyway because your total itemized deductions come out to $30. He provides advice on asset management to his beloved prince in their C support, so you know he knows how to account for depreciation expense as well. The only major downside to having Frederick prepare your taxes is that you might not be Chrom. Frederick isn't the only pre-promote paladin to make this list. Coming in right above him is Oifi from Genealogy of the Holy War. This guy has the distinct advantage of being a side character in the first half of his game. During that first half, he spends his time at the home castle doing logistical work for Sigurd's army, while he spends the second generation doing much less exciting things like waging war against a tyrannical empire and liberating the oppressed masses. There's no doubt in my mind that this man can handle a truly important task like getting your state and federal tax returns in and on time. In third place, we have Soren from the Tellius games. While this surly young mage is not terribly likely to take a job from you, he is perhaps one of the only characters in the series who is confirmed to have done actual accounting work. Soren manages the finances of the Grail Mercenary Company, and after every battle in Path of Radiance, Soren greets Ike with a periodic income statement. Bookkeeping work like this isn't quite the same as preparing a tax return, but they're closely related enough that I'd be confident in Soren's work, especially when compared with anyone in the lower places on this list. One of the best characters to handle your taxes in my mind is without a doubt Merlinus from FE6 and 7. This is a guy who lives, breathes, and sleeps finance. He has over 20 years of experience in managing assets and finances, having run both Ellawood and his son Roy's supply caravans. Before that, he was a successful merchant in his own right. While Soren managed one small company and then later an army, Merlinus' experience with two carries him above, in my opinion. Like Oifi, he fulfills the role of side character who manages the money and items, but he's technically a deployable unit during that entire time. This guy is the true MVP of finance, and a more than passable choice to handle your taxes. So who could possibly beat Merlinus? In the number one spot, we have a double feature in the form of Favel and Asaello from Genealogy. In FE4's second generation, if you don't have a child character's parent married, you get a replacement character for them, and Asaello is Favel's replacement. They fulfill the same role within their respective universes, so I'll give Assy here his one shot at the limelight. These mercenary archers may seem like a step down from Merlinus, and you may think, oh, well, it's just the same thing as Soren, a mercenary company manager. But that's not the case today. These boys use their mercenary career to bankroll a side operation. An orphanage. That's right, an orphanage. A non-profit organization. There's no reason to think these guys haven't filed as a 501c3, which means they're infinitely more familiar with the US tax system than any character mentioned so far. So way to go, Asaello. You've made the number one spot on a Fire Emblem list for probably the first time ever. So there you have it, my top 10 characters in Fire Emblem who could do your taxes. Did I miss any obvious accountant characters? Yell at me in the comments below, and make sure you pay your taxes in the form of a like on this video.